we can't rely upon just making pretty websites anymore.
Yeah.
That's a given. We're making the sites look good,
Mhm.
but we're thinking about it from more of a marketing standpoint, so we can. And I think we can only bring that level of value, as you say, with the niche.
Mm.
We've got to have some sort of extra knowledge or expertise
Yeah.
to bring to market because value income follows value always.
Mhm.
So you can't make a viable business. It doesn't matter if you're a trade or whatever you're doing.
Mhm.
If you're not producing value, you're not going to make much income. So it's always thinking about how do we bring a higher level of value than what
Yeah.
our competitors are bringing,
Yeah.
and what do we need to adjust to ensure that happens for the long term.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jeremy Yang, the online ads guy, back with another episode. This time I'm interviewing Wes Towers. So the backstory is that when I first tried to get into this podcast game, Wes Towers was always a name that he was like already finished the person that I'm trying to, the host or the show that I'm trying to get on, and he was always been there. I always see him everywhere, and I'm thinking, wow, this is guy that I would love to talk to one day. We're kind of in adjacent industries. He's a full stack marketer where he does websites, SEO, probably ads as well. I'm not 100% sure. We didn't touch on that much. But he specializes in trade and construction, which me coming from trade and construction, I'm actually surprised that I'm not better at interacting with trade and construction and niching down on that. So he actually breaks a lot of it down and tells me, or tells the audience, what are some things to look out for, what makes him a little bit more niche down in that area, and how good he is. So he's just a reliable guy, man. Like he's really good at communicating. Even when I first reached out, even before the podcast started, I said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna start my own one. I'd love for you to be on it." He just, replies promptly, and yeah, I had a great conversation with him. So hopefully you all learn something if you are listening, especially if you're in the trade and construction industry. All right, thank you. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm with a really special guest, Wes Towers. Wes has been around on many podcasts, and he's someone that I wanted to interview for a long time. And true to his word, he was very prompt in replying because I did reach out to you, Wes, as well. Before I even
Yeah, that's
started.
it.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, yeah. It's good to another Aussie
yeah,
to speak to. I speak to so many people all around the world, but you're in
yeah.
Sydney, obviously. I'm down here in just outside of Melbourne. So there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, nice. And another reason I wanted to talk to Wes because I do advertising and stuff, right? That's my
Yeah,
specialty. Advertising touches a bit of landing pages, that kind of thing. But you are more full scope, and you found your niche, which is in building tradies and like building companies, which
that's
which,
right. Yeah.
which I find it hard to do because I've done tradies, but I think the tradies I've been doing might be a little bit too small for advertising. Right.
Mm.
And the building companies I've been doing for is usually like branding game. So I don't have a
Yes. Yeah.
deep understanding of so I'm just looking to learn from you. I'm not a full service, so we're not really competitors or anything, but I'm just looking to learn from you how you got through it, how you deal with them, things like that. And then whoever's listening, be plenty of learning from them as well, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. There's some key ways of working with a tradesperson as opposed to a lot of other office-bound businesses, I suppose, and some shortcut ways to get to some success a little bit quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
We can certainly unpack that.
Yeah, definitely. And also this being a theme of the show, everyone who I invited to the show has been like 20 years above in the business. And I was listening to an episode of you were talking about the 2000s in the
Yeah, that's
Olympics.
when I started in the industry. That's right, the year
Yeah.
2000 it was.
Yeah.
So, and I started my own business a few short years later, naively. But
Yeah.
I started working in Sydney, in Mossman, what was my first employment in the marketing company there. So,
Yeah. It kind of made
yeah,
sense, because a lot of people I interviewed, it kind of made sense. Like they kind of said, I was a tradie. I was in gyms and tennis for 12 and a half years. I was the longest running gyms and tennis. So I
yeah.
know all about the van game and driving around, quoting all that. So I think that I should be able to relate to tradies, but I haven't done very well around that. So that's
Yeah.
let's get this guy in and have a chat. But yeah, so please a brief history of your marketing, your own
Yeah.
agency game. Yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, as you said, so I started in marketing in the year 2000. I studied graphic design multimedia. Back in those days when I was studying, websites weren't really a
Yeah.
thing people were thinking about for every business.
Mhm.
But when I got my first job in the marketing game in a Sydney award-winning marketing company,
Hmm.
They won a project to design a website and they'd never done one before. And they said, right, you're the young guy, better figure that out. So I did, and I found I loved it. I mean, I love the creative
Yep.
graphic design side of it, but I love the technical as well. So it's the perfect blend for me. So it felt like that line of work really suited me perfectly, and it felt like that form of work found me rather than the other way around. But
Yep.
over the I only worked for other companies for a few years before I launched out into my own business, which was completely naive.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to do any of the business stuff, and I think a lot of us start out that way. We have a skill set, we want to take it to market, and we don't know what we don't know. So that was certainly my journey starting out, and eventually niching in was one of the best decisions I made, and it felt like a big decision because it feels as though you're cutting off so many opportunities, but really you're just amplifying those that are best suited to you. So
You
niche
hear all
into
the time.
trades and consumer, yeah,
You
what's that?
hear all the time like niching down is the way to go. I haven't really done it. That's that come to me, but like, yeah, sorry, please continue. Yeah, niching down to trades and construction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So unlike yourself, who had an actual trades background, I didn't at all. I mean, I'm useless at picking up a hammer and what end of the screwdriver to hold. I've got no
Yeah.
idea with all that sort of stuff. But for whatever reason, I related really well to these guys, the founder-led businesses, and I think it's because I avoid techie jargon. I think that's a massive part of it, and I don't bog them down with all the things that are unnecessary. I just talk to them practically.
Yeah.
They're pragmatic, down to earth, hands on. They just want results.
That's
So I
exactly
think
right.
for something that you're providing, that the
Yeah.
service advertising, you get an immediate
Yes.
result and it's measurable. So it's an awesome opportunity for what you're doing to tap into, but it is a slightly different way in which you would work with them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if they are too small, yeah, that's a massive challenge because, as you know, if
yeah.
they're tiny, there's just not enough meat in it, enough budget to really do a quality project for
Yeah.
them.
It's not you have to turn the stuff off too quickly as well. Like where as soon as they get busy, they can't handle it, etc. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. And so that's exactly right. And so I think I've got a few clients. We don't do the ads, by the way, so we should talk
Yeah.
later about
Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah.
There's a few clients that do a little bit of ads in trades, and
Yeah.
mostly it's those guys who are doing emergency related work
Oh,
because it's immediate. They'll just call whoever they can get their hands on straight away because they want, the plumbing's leaking everywhere or something.
yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of the need is so amplified that they'll just call whoever comes up
Yeah.
first. So
No, I'm definitely this whole episode. I just want to understand about your business. If anyone's listening, they'd be like,
yeah,
guys. So I have two follow-up questions, right?
yeah.
Like, okay, so first, was it before COVID? Like you started niching down, or during, or after?
No, it had already started occurring.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, probably well,
What was it
nothing
like?
to
Yeah,
what
what was it like during COVID? Like, when if you already started, what was the building game?
it was interesting. So we changed a lot of messaging on sites simply because there was works that people could continue with and works that people could not. So repairing things, for example, was still, it was considered mandatory works because, if someone's roof is blown off, they
Yeah,
got to get it fixed.
yeah,
So all those companies who were usually focused on bigger style of project, all of a sudden said, "Hey, we've got to get the message on the website
yes,
aligned with what we're providing right now to keep the money flowing through the door." So that was an interesting thing. The pivot, as everyone
yeah.
said, to quickly pivot and see opportunities. Curiously enough, some of those people who made that pivot never kind of went back
Oh,
to yeah.
yeah,
So and it's crazy right now too. So we're living through a new form of disaster and crisis with building materials and so on, with
yes,
everything going on in the world. So
yeah,
there some are, depending on what they're doing, some of them are really feeling the crunch. And so there's two ways of looking at that. Some just say, okay, well, I'm not doing any marketing. I'm cutting all the costs that I can cut,
yeah,
which was one way of thinking about it. But the other way of thinking about it is let's dial it up because there's less work out there. So we really need to fight a little harder to get it. So
yeah,
two ways of thinking about it. And obviously, those that choose to work with us, that's what we're trying to achieve, some form of
Yeah.
return on investment for them.
Yeah, nice. Because I tell you a bit about my situation. I started just before COVID, right? Just
Yeah,
before
good.
COVID. I started ads probably 2 years before COVID. Like I was
Yeah,
working for someone and all that. And then they gave me some of their clients so I can continue my own agency because they wasn't building an agency. So in COVID, like e-commerce, you couldn't put a foot wrong, man. Like
yeah,
you could do anything, but in terms of then slowly you had to match expectations years after COVID. As things started going back to normal, clients wanted the results during COVID years. They were always
yeah,
compared to 2000, 2001. So that's a little bit different to you. And I think that's also the benefit of niching down because during these times about building material, they don't have to talk to someone who's ignorant about that. They're like, Wes knows. Like Wes knows
yeah,
the situation. He knows about the environment, like
yeah.
the scape, right? Yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's always the advantage when you know at a greater depth of you have a greater depth of knowledge about their certain circumstances because you've seen it in all the other
yeah, correct.
clients.
Yeah.
You can sort of you can perceive what's likely to produce the best value for them
Yeah.
quickly
You speak their
because
language.
sometimes things are desperate. Sometimes people just need some
Mm,
projects coming through the door, and it may not be the
mm.
may not be the ideal project for the long term, but at least it's something to
Good to
keep
know.
afloat, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So when a lot of tradies I've met during those cowboy years, they jaded by SEO. They're jaded by the word marketing agency. They just roll their eyes and say, "Oh, not another one, not another pitch." Like, how do you quickly overcome that to build the trust? Like,
Yeah, well, I'm just really clear with the expectations. We do a lot of SEO and it is a
yeah,
long-term game and it's
yeah,
not cheap. And so you have that conversation up front and sometimes people are like, are
yeah,
you trying to sell me or not sell me? But I'm just trying to be honest, if you're wanting quick results, you got to get on ads because that's
yeah,
almost immediate.
yeah,
But the SEO is a powerful play for the long term if you're got the capacity to take it on.
yeah.
The longest SEO client we've got is probably maybe 12 years,
Oh,
and
they
so
would
things
so
since
many
we
changes.
what's that?
They would have seen so many changes. All the
Yeah,
new
it's
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, because everything changes all the time. And so some of those long-term clients, not so much that particular one, but
yeah,
a lot of the longer term ones, when traffic started diminishing,
yes,
because people don't need to go to websites anymore when they're researching. They're just
yeah,
jumping on their AI platform of choice,
yeah,
asking questions. Before they would Google when they're just researching something and check out a bunch of websites. So
yeah,
that research phase, there's less need to visit a website. But that's not to say the information in the website isn't necessary or important. It is
yeah.
because it fuels AI. So if you want to show up in Google, of course, you want to show up in large language models as well. So all that information rich content is really helpful to show up in ChatGPT. So
Definitely, it's
as
good.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely applicable. I think of just like someone told me about the saying. It's they call it horses for courses. So basically, if you have your one man in a van air conditioning guy
Yeah.
versus your big building projects that you are on the top end of, like
Yeah.
your top high end projects, the
Yeah.
builders, the big companies are doing complexes and all that. It's like different packages altogether. Like what you're doing for them, the messaging, everything is completely different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So I mean, for some of the better, if people are thinking about SEO for their own circumstances, if you're selling something of high value, and you've got juicy margin in it, well, you
Yeah.
only need one or two additional clients a month to
Mm.
well and truly compensate for
Yeah.
the $1,000 a month. So the starting package we do is $1,000 a month. So there's some bigger programs, but typically everyone starts on $1,000 and scales it up once they see it's working. So
Right. Right.
that's just like a drop in the ocean. Some of the building materials guys, that's just a pittance in comparison to what they make. So even if they were to only get one job,
Yep.
it's hugely beneficial. Now, if you on the flip side, if you're just more of a handyman type
Mm.
person, and a job's only a couple of $100, you might, you're going to need a few to make it worth a while, or
Yeah.
even worse if you're just doing something really minor.
Yeah.
Um,
But
you
even
might, you know,
beyond, even beyond SEO, like because you're a full stack, like
yeah,
to help them with the website, right? Website's everything. Like there's no point doing anything else without the website where people go in to research you, Google my business profile, all of that stuff, right? Like you're full stack. You'll be able to help them. Yeah. I heard you on a podcast talking about even content, helping them
yeah,
stand out human. Because one of the things that you were talking about, he said Like if I'm reading something and you don't even know if a human's checked this or not, like that's a real moment. You know what I mean? Like that's so true
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah,
everybody's got a VA, everybody's got access to $20 subscription AI, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
can't trust it. You can't trust anything anymore, can you? Anything you read online or anywhere really, that you
yeah.
don't trust it necessarily true or accurate. Anyone's checked it.
No.
Even videos, it's wild. You know, it's pretty exciting to see videos of long past people. You
Yeah.
know, we know it's not real. It's kind of fun, but it's also terrifying. You know, we can't trust anything we see. We could never really trust marketers or
Yeah.
um, people talking about their own businesses. But man, that's a massive challenge. So you've got to build the authority and trust in all the right places. You know, so when someone is looking to buy something, they're you know
Yeah.
they can qualify you online.
Yeah, for sure. Do you go as far as, creating videos with people and all that? Like, do you have that kind of crew? You go out there, do
I
script?
Yeah, refer that on quite a bit, and depends on the locations. Sometimes they geographically depend on where it is. Obviously, most of our clients are probably around our region in
Yeah.
Victoria,
Yeah.
but we've got some scattered throughout Australia and international as well.
So that
International would be a challenge because I've got no one internationally for video, but we would figure it out. We would find a
yeah.
way
Yeah.
to
That's
do it.
just I'm having as well. Like, because just say you're talking to someone who's quite busy, they got like three or four vans or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
cut through for me is gonna be on video, right? For
yeah,
the video, the hook, blah blah, right? The 30, 40 second script. And I don't have the facility to go around and filming people and all that. I think it's a facilitation issue because they don't want
yeah,
to do it. Because they don't want to do it. They're behind tools all day, right? They don't
yeah.
do it. So yeah, I don't know if you figure out a way to talk to them about stuff like that.
Yeah, well, the thing is for me, when I'm looking for external parties to do things, I'm looking for brilliant technicians. I'm not looking
Yeah.
for marketers. And so that's the key distinction. So that's a very different skill set. I mean, probably when I started out in the industry,
Mm.
I was more of a technician rather than a marketer.
Yeah.
But I quickly realized there was a greater level of skill that I could learn about and apply, and there's higher value. And I think that's super important
Yeah.
these days with technology. Like the technician aspect of things is becoming easier,
Yes.
but that higher level of knowledge and expertise that only you can bring from a marketing standpoint, so
Yeah.
people make good decisions. Because
Yeah.
man, there's so many decisions you can make right now. A confused mind can't make any decision whatsoever. So there's an abundance of good opportunities, good choices. So
Yeah.
how do you choose the best? It's
Yeah.
it's near impossible.
Yeah.
So unless you're getting guidance from someone who actually knows, who's been in the game a while,
Mm.
and they'll know what the good best choice is at the time. But
Yeah.
yeah, things are
And,
changing too.
niching
Yeah,
down what you've done, right? So in terms of
yeah,
when I look at getting a bit more technical and geeky stuff now, because I hear all the stuff like WordPress versus Go High Level, because Go High Level's got the CMS already, so the database already, the email
yeah,
flow, the text messages. Like, do you have a school of thought behind there, or do you like whatever?
yeah, yeah. I love Go High Level. It's great value. We use it for our own business, but we're doing the WordPress websites for clients
Yeah.
simply because they're more polished. I mean, you can get cookie cutter WordPress sites that all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the custom design. You can design anything you want to.
Yeah.
You've got the 100% flexibility
Yes.
with it. And so, I mean, big brands, they have style guides that are pretty rigid. So you've got to stick to what they've prescribed. Smaller businesses that can do whatever they want, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it depends on the nature of the business, what they need. And we like that control and flexibility.
Yeah.
Lots of plugins and options as well, software that will add features and functions
Yeah.
and so on as well. So there's always that behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wild world we're living in with vibe coding. So that's where you use AI to build
Yeah.
design stuff.
You
So
can put it back into WordPress as well, right? Like you do whatever and then you kind of export the code or something on what you
yeah,
like. Yeah. So what's your thoughts around that? Because I haven't looked
it's
at that enough.
yeah. There's a few tools that do that, and they're still fairly clunky, but it's obvious eventually these things are going to be ironed out and so
Yeah.
good that they'll be really useful. So yeah, so that means my business has had to evolve,
Yeah.
realizing where things at the trajectory of where things are going. So we can't rely upon just making pretty websites anymore.
Yeah.
That's that's a given. We're making the sites look good.
Mhm.
but we're thinking about it from more of a marketing standpoint so we can, and I think we can only bring that level of value, as you say, with the niche.
Mm.
We've got to have some sort of extra knowledge or expertise
Yeah.
to bring to market because income follows value always.
Mhm.
So you can't make a viable business. It doesn't matter if you're a trade or whatever you're doing.
Mhm.
If you're not producing value, you're not going to make much income. So it's always thinking about how do we bring a higher level of value than what
Yeah.
our competitors are bringing,
Yeah.
and what do we need to adjust to ensure that happens for the long term.
Yeah, and that's what you're currently like thinking about working on, etc. As this like this wave of AI stuff and tools
Yes.
kind of crushes us. Yeah, I have this blog article that I'm thinking about like Buffett, Warren Buffett was saying like there are some inventions or developments or innovations that add value to the business. Like if you find a new way to drill oil or something, like the
Mm,
guy is laughing, right? And there's some innovations that crushes it just evens out. Like the value gets straight passed on to the consumer. I think that's AI.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I'm gonna have more trouble. You might have more trouble. We can't stay the same
Yeah.
because they figure stuff out quicker, right? So I don't know if it's your view, but I wrote about that. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I think that's 100% true. And I think the leveling of the playing field is going to occur and already is to the massive entities, like massive agencies competing with someone like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's leveling the playing field because we have capacity to do a lot of
Yeah.
what it would have taken massive teams to do previously. So, and I think it's the same for you. So you can be really clear and precise on what you're delivering,
Yeah.
and it's not just um, us. Just think about the trades and construction people.
Mm.
They can also adapt. Back of office, what they're doing behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and with support from people like us, you and I, to really make a massive difference. And the beauty of it is with trades and construction because your competitors probably aren't. They're probably not pushing ahead that much either. So you've only got to be better than your competitors, right? If
Yeah.
you're in a small town and you're an electrician and there's only three other electricians,
Yeah.
as long as you're better than the other three, everything's cool. So
Yeah.
that's what you got to think about. And so in a bigger city,
Yeah.
I would say you can't just rely upon being better than the few there because there's so many. But that's when you think about niching, being specific, being the best in a certain something.
Yeah.
That
Lane. It's sort of like a lane that in way. Yeah. So like what me and you do, like we compete against everyone, the world.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's very, very different. And we B2B. We B2B only. Whereas
yeah, got it. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
So we did a website a little while ago now, maybe late last year, for a steel company, so building materials, global enterprise. So everyone in the game would know them.
mm,
But we can only do that work because it was in our wheelhouse.
yes.
There was no chance in hell that I would win that job, other than the fact that we know that game. We know steel really well. So,
Yeah. The big
um,
game.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
One of the things, as well, I mean, we can talk about this stuff forever, but one of the things that I was alluding to before we started was about the shadow works. I heard you say on one of the episodes because I think,
yeah,
you know, tradies or builders like they in vans and stuff all day. They're jaded. They haven't got time to work out this value stuff, right? And it's
yeah.
like they all give you the same generic answer. So yeah, so please tell the people more about shadow works.
Yeah, shadow work, it's a psychological understanding of how people's minds work. And the concept is that there's always light and darkness. And to understand the darkness from a human perspective, it helps reveal what the light is. And that all sounds
Yeah.
a bit woo woo. So I don't speak of it in those terms to the clients, but that's literally the philosophy and understanding of what I bring to the table. So what it means in real terms in application, it means when I'm talking to a new client, it's almost like a venting session. I'm getting them to complain about everything they can possibly complain about. So complaining about their competitors, complaining about the industry, everything that's wrong with the world. It's like a massive dump because we as humans, when we get into that rhythm and get permission to do that, we find it super easy. So I used to go in and say, so what makes you distinct? What makes you stand out in the world? What do you do differently? What's your point of difference? And you'd get that generic answer. But when, you know, it was always the same kind of stuff. We really care about people. We leave the site clean and tidy, blah, 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 all the same. Um, but once you start hearing them bitching about something that's not quite right in the industry,
Yep.
then it's so you look at all the darkness, the negative stuff. But
Yeah.
then what we're going to do is flip it around and look at it from the positive, because the darkness is highlighting what truly is important to them.
Yes.
So all of a sudden we can see it super fast. So it's a super quick hack to
Yep.
discover what truly sets you apart, what truly matters to you, what you genuinely makes you unique.
Yep.
So it's coming at it from that other angle. It's just using human psychology of that underlying emotion of that
Yep.
negativity to highlight what's the positive thing. We would never say those things publicly. It's a closed,
Yeah.
over Zoom call.
Yeah.
Um, it's a bit of a bitching session. I would describe it as.
Get the results quicker though, because you'll be able to
Yeah,
get all the information, you'll be able to put on the website the bullet points and all the other stuff, right? And that kind of makes
yeah,
it and comes out. Yeah, that's good because I never heard of that until you talked about it. I said, okay, that could be useful. Um
yeah, for sure. It works really well with tradespeople because they're high pressure, high stakes,
yeah,
stressed out oftentimes. As you say, driving around from site to site,
yeah.
dirty and hot and sweaty, and timelines are all blown out. Everything's a bit of a mess usually. So they can easily vent. So that's cool. That really helps.
I was talking to another builder the other day, and he goes to he told me something that I never thought about. He said that they are exposed to the elements all day long.
Yeah,
The noise,
absolutely.
like the drilling, the yelling, the road raging. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you were sitting down. Do you know what I mean? We're chilled. Like they are like exposed to that all day long, and it does the head in. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, so yeah, cool. Uh, last thing for me, and that's something that I've had problem weaving into. Oh, maybe weaving is like a bad way of saying it, but I've had trouble weaving my own mission and values. Like, but you are doing that. You talked about that a lot, right? On your own mission and what you're going for. And like, how did you finish that? How did you arrive at that? And do you find it impactful that, it helps your business on a commercial sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way to think about it is just get started, get momentum, and you kind of have a vision for where you're going, but you kind of know where you are right now and roughly speaking where you want to end up. But the middle part, you just don't know. And the world keeps throwing different things at you. So I think you just get started and just finding your own voice and rhythm as well. Podcasting is awesome. I've guessed, I think you mentioned before, I've been on a heap of podcasts,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even articulating in different ways what it is that I value. It's
Yeah.
been really helpful because people will throw a slightly different question and you think about it in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
So you just kind of always evolving and adapting your understanding of where you're going and delivering it in slightly different, unique ways depending on who the audience is. So sometimes you're speaking to someone who are the trades and construction, but other times you're talking to other agencies and so on, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and so
Yeah.
you're shaping your message. Your purpose and your direction doesn't change, but the way in which you
How
shape it
you package
changes.
stuff comes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's really cool. That I love podcasting for that reason because you just talk to all sorts of people.
Yeah, you should so as we wrap up, you should tell the people like your ideal client profile how they find you, what it's working with you, like what's a starting point, the baby step.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let them
Yeah,
know.
so well, uplift360.com.au is the website. You can book strategy calls with me there. There's no obligation with that. Just a
Yeah.
45-minute session together over Zoom. Unless you're local, we can have a beer or what have you. But the yeah, so starting out, so we just have that initial call and see where we could provide the best value. So typically it'll be around
Yeah.
overhauling the website, getting in. There's a couple of problems with websites typically, not enough traffic, so that be search engine optimization, or not enough conversion. So not, people are looking at the website, no one's ever doing anything.
Yeah.
So it'll usually be a combination or one of those things that we'll work on with the client. So sometimes they come with an idea
Yeah.
of that they think the problem is one, but it's realistically the other once we look at the numbers. So yeah, ideal clients, trades, construction, anyone in the building materials kind of
Yeah.
industrial brands, those kind of people. That's who we serve,
Yeah. And you
and
probably, sorry.
globally as well. So as I said, I think I said before,
Mm.
I've done a few podcasts today, so I can't remember what I said to you and the other guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the mostly in Australia, but that's not mandatory. If anyone does visit the website, they'll see a few global brands. They probably recognise them if they're in the game. So
Yeah.
happy to serve. Happy to
Yeah.
serve in our
Website
niche.
too. Because they'll probably judge your own website first, right? You got a pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah.
And
So
yeah.
yeah, it's fun, and yeah, as I said, I
Yeah.
mean, if anyone's listened this far as well, this is the key thing. So they should be sharing this podcast to their network. There's a share button no matter where you post it,
Yeah.
usually. But think about someone, if you've listened this far, you've got value out of it. It's likely there's friends and family who will also get value. So send them this episode because that's what you and I are doing it for, right?
Yeah.
The to provide value to the world, and it's free. There's no obligation. People are going to learn a bunch of stuff, and it's good for us. It's getting our brands and
Yeah.
personal brands out there.
That's exactly right. We're gonna get all the links and everything there. No, because I just feel like trades being, they smaller trades, they're being shafted, they're jaded, they've cut marketing people take money off them. I
Yeah,
think that when I heard you, I said, man, let this guy talk. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he's in the
Ah,
game,
cool.
he sounds like a friendly guy, and you are. So look, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'll put all the links and notes in the show notes or whatever you call them now. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
hopefully stay in touch as well, man.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be and LinkedIn. If anyone's on if they do use socials, I'm most likely to respond to LinkedIn. The other ones, other people respond. The team respond to, but my own LinkedIn is a way to get me.
Yeah, done. All right. Thanks,
Cool.
Wes. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks, Jeremy. See ya.